What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 210 of The Nonsense Review. I am your host, as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Rick, do you want to take a stab as to what 210 means in the context of a dating profile?
Oh, dating profile. 210. It's going to be something to do like I have had an STD, but now I'm clean or something.
According to Urban Dictionary, so please take this with a massive grain of salt, it means blowjob friendly, because 2 is, second letter of the alphabet is a B, the 10th letter of the alphabet is a J.
Okay.
Rick, why do you need to use code for this sort of thing?
Because I guess putting BJ+++ happy face is a little bit risque, but you're literally just doing the same thing. So
it makes no sense to me, because you're using your dating profile for an explicit thing. Why are you resorting to code words?
Yeah, you put your code word "I guzzle Willy."
It's not really a code word so much as stating your life choices.
Yeah.
Apparently 210 also means something in context of women joining the Navy, but that source is even more dubious than Urban Dictionary, so I decided we'll just leave that. We're not going to touch it.
Dude, if it's more dubious than Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, because it's from a Reddit post from like 2003, and that's the only source I could find.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Just so people don't fucking look it up. 210 in context of women in the Navy is she's a 2, but then she joins the Navy, so now she's a 10.
Okay.
Which, again, baffling, but whatever. People are weird, and that's kind of beautiful in its own way.
Yeah. Like, she's a 2, but in a confined space, she's a 10.
It's kind of fucked up when you think about it. I thought it just meant that uniforms make people look better, so I guess I'm a sweet summer child in some aspects.
Yeah, no, it's because the dating pool shrinks.
Oh, Jesus, that's way darker than I thought it was. Thanks, Rick.
It is, ain't it? Oh, boy.
For those of you familiar with this show, what we like to do is we like to give a brief overview. I like to give a brief overview of what we're doing. We're flipping the script a bit because this is something that Rick found, so as always, I've gone, fuck it, Rick, this is a you thing, you tell us about it. So give us some background information on what we're doing today.
Okie dokie. The Art of Murder is a little animation, and it's a pilot for what might hopefully become something longer. And the 4 main characters are a 2D princess, an American style Cartoon Network hyper character, a visual novel detective, and a weeb boy as they investigate the murder of their creator's first ever OC.
Whenever I say background information, I mean more about the actual development and stuff. But sure, you can give us the outline of the characters.
And the creators are Anoki Somaya and Nirali Somaya.
Are these real people, or are these in canon versions of the people?
No, these are the real people. So they're actual. I think they're a brother and sister.
Well, one would have to assume they're related, given the fact they've got the same surname.
Yeah, and there's I've not gotten much beyond that other than like bits of the cast. But there's the people that have been in a fair few things. So like Megan Lee has been in SWAT apparently.
Oh, fair do.
Family.
That doesn't mean nothing to me. I fucking thought that show was trash.
Yeah.
But I got to bear in mind, my context of that show was it would sometimes be on before The Simpsons, so I'd catch the last 5 minutes and I'd be like, this looks awful, I'm glad I don't watch it. But yeah, I don't know anything about this show at all. Obviously, we're on the YouTube page because that's how we're watching it. The link will be down below in the description if you want to, 1, watch it along with us, or 2, just give it a view so you can pump those numbers up. As of time of recording, the show's been out for 4 months and has 2.3 million views, incredibly respectable. And the name of the YouTube channel itself is Chop Chip Animation Studios, so I don't know if they've actually done any other work before. They've got the balls to call themselves a studio, so I'm going to assume they've done something else or worked on other things.
Yeah, so when you look at their video links, they've basically only got the things leading up to the release of this starting like 3 years ago, really.
I mean, it's ambitious. You got to give them credit where credit's due. Again,
yeah.
I think that's incredibly ballsy to call yourself a studio from the get-go.
Yeah, but on top of that, they've also got like little spotlights on the voice actors and things like that. So like showing off who the VAs are, what the other things they've been in like little good old vignettes and things. Choc and Chip, however, because of the Choc Chip Studios, are a pair of dogs.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you 2 out of 10 for the naming convention. Those are bad names for pets. You should feel ashamed and rename them.
Yeah, specifically for dogs, because that kills them.
I'm joking. You can call your pets whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Apparently, about 2 weeks ago, they the 2 dogs themselves also reached 20 years old.
I'm processing that information, and I don't want to say the thing that I'm going to say. So can we move on?
Yeah.
Is that everything you got for us?
Yep, that's it from me.
Alrighty, so for those of you unfamiliar with the format of this show, congratulations, thanks for joining us, we appreciate it. Before we jump into the reaction and the review itself, what we like to do is very brief, we try to keep it brief, but sometimes we talk for over an hour. We try to talk about our weeks and the goings on in the wide universe. So with that in mind, Rick, how has your week been, buddy?
I have been awful. So I've been spending most of my time just trying to recover from this cold that I have. I think I might have moaned about it on the previous retrospective, and basically I've gotten not much better. So I have done incredibly little on my own, and I've even seen very little on my own, but what I have seen is that Digimon did a broadcast.
Well, yeah, it's Digicon, it happens. They didn't reveal anything I give a fuck about.
Yeah, basically they told us a little bit more of Time Stranger, which is something that I'm actually hyped for.
Oh,
it might be the first Digimon game I buy for quite fair enough. They showed the trailer again. It might be the first Digimon thing I buy in quite some time. They showed like more of the throwback anime going on, and they showed more of something about the next season of regular anime.
So they've got a movie coming out, which is the 25th anniversary. It's basically taking part before the epilogue, but after the shit that they showed last time. At least that's my understanding. I don't care about the anime. I haven't cared about the anime in about 15 goddamn years. It's one of those weird ones. The more interesting part of the announcements, which are relevant to me rather than you. I wasn't even going to bring this up on the podcast, by the way. I'm surprised you took it.
Yeah. Is it the trading card game?
Yeah, so we've got the trading card game is getting an actual app, so it's joining the ranks of both Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, even Yu-Gi-Oh's fucking got one. Granted, they use dual links, but it's a bit weird, but whatever. So they're getting an app for the game. I might actually try to learn the game. At the moment, I am strictly a collector. More importantly, they've confirmed what BT23 is, which is the and 22 for that matter. For those of you who don't know, that is the main releases of the sets. They're called BTs. The other ones are called EXs. Go figure. And it's going to be based off of the Cyber Sleuth games. So I'm pretty excited to see what cards we get in those sets.
Yeah, good shit. Is that the Protector of Light and Hero of Hope decks and all that? They're coming from that.
Those decks are coming out before then.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, Digimon joining the ranks of all the other games. Pokemon have got fucking 2. Like, Pokemon have got 2 trading card games.
Yeah, but one...
I know this because I played one of them, and it's just the actual trading card game that you can, like, get cards for by buying cards IRL. And the other one's the new one that apparently people like, but I don't.
I really like the idea of every pack of trading cards just having a code inside and being like, or every card that you can get having a one-use code. But then that gets tricky to track and be annoying to print. But yeah, something that you can actually transfer physical cards you have into the game.
Yeah, so they don't give you exactly what cards you get in the pack.
No, they just give you equivalent packs in game, don't they? Yeah.
It's just like you have a code. The code is for one pack of stuff, and that's a lot easier just to track of. Oh yeah, this is successful code number 1, successful code number 2, and yeah, you can't reuse those codes because they've been used already. It's been recorded to the servers. Like, it works pretty well, and also the other thing is you can't just buy cards in the game. You have to literally put that in to get more cards.
Yeah, I think it's a genuinely interesting system and a pretty decent one. How does Magic the Gathering handle it? Because I've not touched that at all.
You are it's a lot more like Hearthstone, where you can earn a little bit in game, but generally the easiest way to put money into it is to literally put money into it and then just roll on digital cards.
That sucks, you see, because I like having a physical thing.
Yeah. However, they used to let you upload entire starter decks. I don't think they can do it with commander decks, but like the 60 card starter decks, they used to give you a little card with it, and that card had a code, and you put the code in, and you just unlocked that entire starter deck in your MTG MTG Online arena account.
Yeah, it just seems so logical.
Yeah, doubly logical for Commander decks, because there's a lot of cards there, and it gives you a lot of diversity that you might not want to split up with your regular cards. But with a digital storefront, you can just say, oh, okay, this card is in 10 different decks. No problem, go.
That does also bear mentioning. Rick, do you want to explain to the audience what Magic the Gathering Commander is? Because not everyone is going to automatically know.
Yeah, Commander is a variant game style created by nerds where you have one legendary creature as your quote-unquote commander, and everything that is in your deck, a 100-card deck instead of a 60-card deck, is limited to one copy, other than basic lands, and things that say otherwise, and they have to match your commander's color in some way or other. So, say you got a red-green commander, all your stuff has to be colorless, red-green, or red-green.
Yeah. The funny thing is I don't know, Digimon doesn't officially endorse this, but the local fucking nerd cafe sent out a thing of just like, hey, we're having a local Digimon game to celebrate the release of XYZ. We're doing X rules. And I went, what the fuck is X rules? And I looked at it and I went, oh, it's Commander, but for Digimon. That's fucking dumb. Because Digimon doesn't work the same way. You can't just do that. Yeah. You've got to evolve shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, like that really won't work in multiplayer. Like it's so much more geared towards like 1v1 apparently, which I only know from watching people who play both moan about this. I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh, whereas Magic the Gathering, we played it when they were evolving the multiplayer format.
Mm-hmm.
So like Commander being a 4-player format essentially is kind of the established format now. You can play it with more, you can play it with less. People have decided now we're sticking to 4 because that's 2 on one side of the table, 2 on the other side of the table, and we just choose not to look at each other's cards.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think the Commander format falls down immediately in games where you have to discard shit to play other shit.
Yeah.
It's a stumbling block that you have to work out if you're going to transfer the mechanics over. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, back to Digimon.
Yeah.
The other thing they revealed was I don't collect the physical Digivices because it's never been my thing. I've always thought they looked cool, but ultimately pointless. Boy, am I tempted by the Godzilla crossover because they revealed another one.
Oh shit, I've not seen this.
It's just a Digivice with a Godzilla Digimon. It's very cool, and I like it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the Digivices that I've seen are some guy on Facebook who's like 3D printed some Digivices to make into deck boxes for the Digimon card game.
Okay, so obviously Digivices are actual virtual pets. They're Tamagotchis, but Digimon.
Yeah, so these are like hollowed out Digivices, like based around the Gen 1 Digimon Tamagotchis, where it was like a big old cube Tamagotchi with a little thing that you could connect to an additional one of them and fight them.
They also, like the last big collab they had that I gave a fuck about is they did this with Monster Hunter. I believe Rathalos was one of them.
Oh, sweet.
But, Digimon does this from time to time, specifically with Digivices, because they know they'll sell.
Yeah. But yes, I have seen very little things around the internet because I've been focused on myself like a selfish little prick. How about you? How have you been? What have you seen?
Oh, that's your one thing you wanted to talk about. A thing you don't actually invest in that much.
I have been very ill.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I bought a couple of games. Wasn't part of the spring sale. I just bought these because they happened to tickle me. WWE 2K25 came out. I've been playing that a bunch.
Okay.
The new GM mode, they've added some stuff and they've changed mechanics. I won't get too into that because 1, I know you don't care. 2, I'm pretty sure our audience doesn't care.
So this is going to be the first game without McMahon, isn't it?
Last game also didn't have McMahon.
Did it not? Last game? Okay, fair enough.
I don't think it did. Yeah, I don't think the last one did. It also didn't have Brock Lesnar because he's also roped up in all that legal hoo-ha, shall we say. The troubles is how we will refer to them. But yeah.
Oof, yeah.
It's one of those where it is what it is. I've played a bit of every mode. The showcase mode this time focuses on the bloodline, which is the Anui family, the Samoan dynasty.
Okay.
It's very fucking weird because they're doing a lot of things to sort of retroactively change history because there is a wrestler back in the day who I loved as a heel because he was big and scary, terrifying. His name was Yokozuna.
Oh, even I know that.
In kayfabe, he's Japanese. In reality, he's Samoan.
Sure.
However, being 6, I did not know the difference. WWE says he's Japanese, so he must be. However,
why would they lie on the telly?
However, when you look back at it, you're like, yeah, he doesn't really look Japanese at all.
No. They obviously used the title of the actual sumo champion, which apparently once you got that, you have that title until you give it up.
Yeah, sounds about right. But, most people, if they get beaten as Yokozuna, would just give up the title.
Yeah.
Because, honor's a big deal in a lot of Asian culture. But anyway, I digress. Yokozuna, who I found out because I don't really look behind the scenes of old wrestlers, because usually it's a waste of time. His real name's Rodney.
Rodney.
I wasn't expecting that, and it made me really laugh because all I could think about was calling him Dave.
Oh boy.
But yeah, by all accounts, Yokozuna, absolutely adorable human being, nicest, kindest soul on earth. I haven't got a beef with that. I just wanted to bring up the fact that he's named Rodney. But a lot of this Bloodline showcase is very odd because they change history, which is not what Showcase is meant to be about. You're meant to just replay the matches and have fun. And they're like, we're going to show off the Wild Samoans. And it's like, fuck, the Wild Samoans won so few pay-per-views worth a damn. Fuck it, we'll change their Steiner match. They won. No, they didn't.
Oh, boy.
It does say that they didn't win in history, but it's like, you're playing as them, they've got to win, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to Paul Maivia, who, for those of you who don't know, it's The Rock's dad. And that's the only reason he's in this game.
Okay, just because he's The Rock's dad and he's part of that pedigree of wrestlers.
Yeah, it's one of these really weird ones where all the commentary has been redubbed with the modern day commentators, and that's fine. I get it. They can't reuse old shit, whatever. But they're going like, yeah, Paul Maivia, one of the greatest, and it's like, no, he fucking wasn't. No one gives a fuck about him. The only reason people know who he is because he's The Rock's dad.
Yeah,
okay,
boy.
He might have been a bigger deal in the 80s and the 70s, but he's sure as shit, no one gives a fuck about him, except for The Rock, for obvious reasons.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, shit, I just looked it up. Yokozuna passed away age 34.
He was not an old man. He was very young. He had some terrible weight issues, and that was almost certainly what killed him.
It was pulmonary edema.
Yeah, not good. Yokozuna's always gotten tons of praise for being a big man who moves so unlike a big man. Let's talk about Yokozuna for a brief moment here, seeing as we're talking about wrestling. His finishing move was the bonsai drop.
Okay.
So what it was is he'd go on the second rope and he'd just fucking jump off and sit on you. And it's a really awful move to look at when he's fighting nobodies, because if you're a nobody, he just fucking sat on people.
Yeah. If you're a bit more famous, then you get the Kid Gloves version, I guess.
It's not even the Kid Gloves version. You can see what happens when he fights people worth a damn, because watch him against a jobber, he'll sit on someone and they're in obvious pain. Watch him fight The Undertaker or Hulk Hogan, and watch him lift his leg up so he's not actually touching them.
Yeah.
It's very not nice, but not something exclusive to Yokozuna, by the way. Plenty of people were awful to jobbers. I've currently stopped that mode because I'm like, I kind of don't care about the Bloodline. I really don't. They've been dominating WWE for what feels like 10 fucking years, and I'm over it. And they're like, I stopped at a point where they're like, oh, take control of the Men on a Mission as they face whoever the fuck they're facing. And I'm like, Men on a Mission? No one gives a fuck about Men on a Mission. This fucking mode sucks this year. It's dumb. Let me play as Roman Reigns and kill people.
Yeah.
The other mode that I've played is My Rise mode, which is basically make your OCs and play a story that they've written. And the reason why I love My Rise mode is kayfabe doesn't exist in video games.
Yeah, sweet.
Everything is real. Wrestling when treated real is the best because it's so dumb. There's an actual storyline where we get sent to Japan because we're chasing a fake title belt and then immediately go to Mexico. And when the villain reveals that they were just sending you over the world to weaken you, they're like, haha, I sent you all over the globe. It's like, dude, what did you accomplish by this? So dumb. I love it. I love wrestling. I love dumb wrestling bullshit. I'm having a lot of fun with GM mode. There's been a lot of issues with the servers for the game, which I don't care about. I don't need the servers to play the game. I'm playing a lot of single player stuff. However, it's very odd that this is still a fucking issue, because they have a thing in WWE games called My Faction, which, spoiler alert, it's like any other fucking sports simulator game ever. It's pay us money to buy these packs to get good number versions of people on the roster and then fight other people.
Sweet?
No, not sweet. Bad.
Oh, okay.
It's gacha, Rick.
Yeah, alright.
It's baffling that their servers are shitty because this is how they milk fucking fans for money.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's like EA's FIFA fucking My Team, where it's like, oh yeah, I want a rank 89 Cristiano Ronaldo. I've got to pay $10,000 didgeridoos.
Yeah, I want a maxed out Ronaldo and a maxed out Messi on the same team.
Yeah, and you can tell how long it's been since we've paid attention to football, because those are still the two best footballers in the world in our mind.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm going to say, oh, Eric Cantona, am I?
You can say Eric Cantona.
He probably retired before you were even born.
That is not true.
No, it's not true. No, it was after 1995.
I was going to say, I mean, I might not have been conscious, but I was here.
Yeah.
Anyway, WWE's a great game. Don't give them money for gacha.
Yeah, fair enough.
The other thing I did is I said, fuck it. It has got money off, so I'll just do it. I bought the Pale Reach and the Iron Rig DLC for Dredge.
Ah, sweet.
I
know you said you'd really enjoyed the base game earlier, but have you been playing the DLC as well?
Yeah, I beat the DLC in about 5 hours. It's not very long at all, but it didn't really need to be.
Sure, cool.
There's still a ton of stuff for me to do. Despite basically beating everything, I've only gotten half the fish in the game.
Sure.
So it's one of those where this game is as long as you want to make it. If you just want to do the main story, you're only going to be playing the game for a couple of hours at most. But if you want to collect and see a bunch of stuff, yeah. As for the DLCs, they're very interesting. The Pale Reach just straight up adds a new area that you can just do at any time. It's more or less self-contained.
Okay.
Because you go over there, and the first thing you do is you talk to the travelling merchant, and they go, oh, here's a fishing rod for catching ice fish, which is the new biome type. So you can just go there and unlock that and start catching. You don't need to do any quest stuff. I mean, you have to be able to have a boat able to get there, but if you're not a massive pussy like me, you can just sail through the night and make it.
Sure, okay.
So yeah, the storyline there is great. It's more Cthulhu Great Beast crap. There's a narwhal that's been infected by Cthulhu AIDS.
Powerful.
Yeah, but you get to a blockage in the ice that you can't move. You meet the photographer there, and she's just like, there's a narwhal here, and I want to take a photo of it. Can you get a bunch of fish so we can bait a trap? You do it. It jumps out of the water and destroys the barricade, and it's monstrous of a monstrosity of a narwhal. And the photographer just goes, oh, fuck that. I'm getting out of here, and so should you. And then it's like, well, I gotta go there. That's where the quest marker is.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I'm playing a video game. The video game wouldn't lie to me. The video game wouldn't send me to somewhere where I'm going to die, would it? No.
Yeah, so the
violation of common sense.
The narwhal just basically patrols a big chunk of that zone. However, it's also very slow, so as long as you don't stop, it's very easy to outrun. However, if you want to fish, you have to stop.
Sure, okay.
So it's one of those. It's very fun. Pale Reach, very self-contained. That took about an hour and a half. Iron Rig is a weird one because I played this after already effectively beating the game. So it seems very designed to be played alongside the base game.
Right, okay.
So you go to the Iron Rig, it does some drilling, a bunch of oil appears in the first zone. Your next quest for the Iron Rig is, catch a bunch of fish that are now available because you've unsettled the earth and unleashed ancient monstrosities. And you're like, okie dokie. And you catch these fish, you go back, and then, wouldn't you know it, now we've spilled more oil, only this time in the second zone. And you can see where this is going, right?
Yeah. That's going forward. It's like, what's going to happen? Yeah, you're going to spill oil in every zone, and that's what your job is going to be in those zones.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not oil, it's dark ooze, but it could be oil. Yeah, it's fun, it's interesting. The very last thing fucking frightened the shit out of me, because the last batch of fish is pretty much an optional thing to do.
Sure.
You give them to the scientist, and then the scientist turns into a crazy fish man and jumps out the window.
All right.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I'm kind of annoyed that I wasn't expecting that, because in hindsight, it's very obvious.
Sure, like he was always a crazy fish man and he wanted to collect the other crazy fish. Okay.
No, he wasn't always a crazy fish man. It's just it was very obvious something Cthulhu-ian was happening to him.
Okay, so he's been turned slowly into a crazy fish man by the additional weird fish that you've been feeding him.
But that's just it. He's not been eating them. He's been dissecting them and studying them. It's very unclear how this process happened, apart from, usual Lovecraftian just, I gazed into the abyss and the abyss gazed back.
Yeah, the abyss gazed back and said hello.
Follow me.
The abyss says hello.
Yeah, it was great. Also, by the way, the new fucking horror that you just unleash after completing completing the Iron Rig is basically a Godzilla.
Okay.
Like, it looks very Godzilla-like. And I'll tell you this for free, it gave me one of the best moments in the game after just randomly fishing near there afterwards.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I was fishing in a fishing spot, as one does, and I heard a really weird rumbling, and I went, that's weird. Is it getting louder? And I just stopped fishing, turned my camera slight to the right, and a massive fin is going past me, and I fucking screamed. Because I thought that creature was gone.
Boop ants.
I didn't think that creature was showing up ever again, and it's like, no, apparently it's just a stage hazard that lives here now.
Yeah, oh boy.
Oh god, it was very good. It's great DLC. If you enjoy Base Dredge, I advise getting it. I think Iron Rig might be a pain in the ass to actually play parallel to the main game, but it does seem as if that's what the game actually wants you to do.
Sure, okay.
Ready for some news?
Let's go.
Alrighty. Rick, starting with some bad news, the worst possible news.
Go ahead.
Apparently, Lynx are discontinuing Lynx Africa.
It's iconic.
Oh, this is almost certainly a marketing stunt.
Yeah, they're just going to discontinue it for like a month and then bring it back.
Yeah, it's like, what is it, fucking that trick that Coke made where, we need to change one ingredient needs to change to fit with regulation. We'll make new Coke that tastes awful, and then when the ingredient changes and we go back to the old formula, no one will notice.
Yeah, so this is going to be like a way to like add CFCs. It's like removing CFCs from your spray. It's gonna change the way it smells, so they're gonna have to reformulate it, but they need more than a week to do so.
But that doesn't really work though, does it? Because then they'd be discontinuing more than just the one.
Yeah, you'd think.
Lynx Africa's a weird one because, yeah, it's iconic as far as British culture is concerned. Like, it is a staple, for lack of a better word. I will say, Lynx Africa has been the source of many a disappointing Christmas, though.
Oh, yeah, you just get it from people that don't know anything about you.
Yeah, and it's always Lynx Africa.
It's even worse than a Funko Pop. It's like, oh, well, get you a Funko Pop because we know you're generally nerdy and that you like, I don't know, Warhammer. Okay, have the Warhammer Funko Pop. You get Lynx because, okay, you're a bloke and you have armpits. There you go.
I've got to be honest with you. I would prefer Lynx Africa to a Funko Pop. At least I'd use the Lynx Africa.
Sure.
Like, I don't care what I smell like as long as I smell not of human. If you know what I mean.
Well, I've not used deodorant in quite some time.
What?
Because I don't know. I don't get any complaints. Like as long as I wash myself. I've just not been using deodorant in a while.
I don't use deodorant, but I use antiperspirant. Not even.
Yeah, the rollerball stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but you use that,
it's
right?
Like, yeah, it doesn't have an odor. So yeah.
It fucking does.
Okay.
Doesn't
have much.
I don't use deodorant body spray because body spray is fucking worthless. It's just a nice smelling spray and it clings to you for all of 10 minutes.
Yeah, it clings to you for 10 minutes and it makes everyone else in the house know that you've had a shower.
And I, for one, love antiperspirant because it means I don't have to worry about smelling sweaty after 3 hours of work.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to be careful how you phrase things, Rick. Dirty bastard. Anyway, okay, Rick, you and I try to avoid talking about the pumpkin of the White House because it's usually depressing, but I'm going to bring it up today because this story's funny.
Okay, go ahead.
The USA is begging European countries for eggs, and Europe rightly keeps telling them to fuck off.
Yeah, and every time they do, it's like, oh well, we'll put you on a tariff list. Oh well, cool.
It's so funny though, because they went to Denmark, and Denmark went, "Are you still threatening Greenland?" "Yes, we are. Fuck off." Then they went to Finland, and Finland went, "Are you still in bed with Russia?" And USA's like, Finland's like, "Fuck off." Then they asked Lithuania, which who the fuck asked Lithuania for anything?
Yeah.
And Lithuania, despite being one of the smallest countries in Europe, still said, fuck off.
Yeah. There's some less fun stuff to come out of America, like apparently Trump derangement syndrome is being put on the table as proposed as a mental illness, as in you can be classed as mentally ill if you don't like Trump, which is their way of saying, oh yeah, if you're mentally ill you can't have guns, so if you don't like Trump we're going to take away your guns.
Okay, Rick, do you remember when I prefaced this with we don't normally talk about Trump and his growing cult, but we're talking about this because it's funny. Why are we talking about a not funny story?
Yeah, and the other one is that Britain and Germany have now declared America an unsafe place to go.
Oh, yeah, cool. And this is another thing which I told you explicitly yesterday, because I said, I'm not going to bring this up on the podcast because it's depressing. And then what do? You bring it up anyway during having a light, fun-hearted segment about America being begging twats.
Yeah, and eggs. Yeah, talking about the price of eggs.
Rick, the last surviving active serving Battle of Britain participant, John Hemingway, passed away this week at the age of 105.
Salute.
This is depressing because now we don't have anyone.
No.
And people's memories are disappointingly short.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, it was like not out of the ordinary for like people's grandparents to have been World War II veterans, and it was not uncommon to know people or for there to be people out in the world who were surviving from World War One. Nowadays, World War One is completely impossible, and World War Two is getting like increasingly impossible.
Well, World War One was about 2003 when we lost the last one of serving military. I think there was a few outliers of people who lived through it but weren't in conflict. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
And yeah, World War Two. I think we're done. I think we've lost everyone. Now, just to put this into context, he would have been in his early 20s when he participated in the Battle of Britain.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's still people around from who experienced World War II, but they would have been too young to be combatants or just were women. Because that was a thing back then. Like, women weren't allowed in the armed forces, or very rarely were they allowed in the armed forces.
We still have one guy. We have Leonard Roy Chivers. He is the last surviving crew member of the HMS Kipling, and he's still kicking about.
HMS Kipling, that's Navy, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes. How old will he be? He's got to be, like, in his late 90s.
He's 100.
Fuck me. How the fuck do these guys who went through such shit live to such ripe ages?
We've got a 104-year-old from the Royal Air Force as well, John Cruikshank, 104 years old.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because, again, last surviving member, active participant in the Battle of Britain just passed away. So what was this guy doing if he was in the Royal Air Force?
He's the last surviving World War II recipient of the Victoria Cross.
So what was he? Was he a bomber pilot then? Because those guys wouldn't have been involved in the Battle of Britain.
Yeah, I don't think he was, yeah.
And if you got the Victoria Cross, you did something. Do you know what I mean? You don't get that for sitting on your ass.
The king graciously blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a long-ass thing about why he got the Victoria Cross on the wiki, but yeah, there's a disappointing number of known surviving veterans, but like there is an article of the ones that are still kicking about.
Sure. It's not going to be long, Rick. Like it's a disappointing reality. Like 2025, like we've got 14 years to go until we get to the anniversary of the Second World War starting.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to be around.
Yeah, we're past the 100 years of the beginning and the end of World War One.
Yep.
And yeah, World War Two is the sequel is I'll stop talking.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Rick browsing Wikipedia articles while speaking once again.
Hey, that one was pertinent.
So I told you I don't like you doing it.
Just change your perception. You'll be fine.
Just change my perception. We're meant to be talking off-the-cuff remarks, not I'm going to quickly steal things from Wikipedia. Anyway, the last piece of news I've got is a weird one because it's technically news, but it also didn't tell us fuck all.
Okay.
Lego has announced their partnership with Pokemon, so we're getting Pokemon Lego merchandise in 2026. What that actually means, we don't fucking know.
Well, the other thing it means is they're not beholden to Mega Bloks anymore, which probably means that they're not going to be doing anything Mega Bloks anymore. So if you want any Pokemon Mega Bloks, get them now, because they're probably not going to be able to make any more by contract.
I didn't think they had a deal with Mega Bloks.
Yeah, they do. Well, if it's not Mega Bloks, then it's another thing like that. So basically fake Lego from different...
fake Lego from knockoff Chinese companies, but not an actual brand.
No, real stuff. You can just go to like Home Bargains and pick it up.
Oh yeah, Home Bargains, known for only carrying proper products.
Oh, but it's like actually branded stuff. Like it's not Lego, but it's like it's either Mega Bloks or someone else's fake Lego. But
I'm saying it's not a known brand. It's not a mainstream brand. Mega Bloks is far too mainstream.
I'll fight you on this.
Dude, you've got Google in front of you. Now's the time to use it. Wikipedia articles for stuff you don't know. And here's the thing, you're like, I'll fight you for this. Look it up, dickhead.
Mega Bloks Pokemon. I spelled it wrong. I spelled it as Kega. Build together shopping.mattel.com. Eevee.
Hang on. What did you spell as Kega?
Mega. Kega Blocks. Okay, so shopping.mattel.com. Mega Pokemon Motion Eevee. The Pokédex, Machamp, Pokemon Center, Gen 1 starters, pixel art of Pikachu. Yeah, they've got the license, dude.
Cool. Can you send me a link? 'Cause I want to look.
Yeah.
Not because I don't believe you, but because some of that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, the one that I actually wanted a while ago was there was like a gift set of all 8 evolutions, and they were really cute.
Mega Pokemon. Is this Mega Blocks?
Should be, yeah.
Because it just says Mega. It doesn't say Mega Blocks. I do love how it says when you hover over it, compatible with other name brands.
Yeah.
Oh, those little Pokemon on top of the Pokeballs are pretty cute.
Yeah.
I don't think this
I'm
is.
gonna send you this picture of the evolutions. This is the one that I actually kind of wanted. Like,
No, this isn't Mega Blocks. It's Mega Constructs.
Mega Constructs. Yeah, okay.
No, that's fine, but it's. I don't blame you for getting confused with Mega Blocks because it's a very similar name and probably
Yeah,
done
it says
on
Mega in
purpose.
the corner. Yeah.
I didn't think it was Mega Blocks, and unless they rebranded to Mega Constructs, which I'm not saying is impossible, but it'd be weird. Those evolutions might be good. It's hard to tell with no sense of scale.
They're little. They're like not much taller than a Lego minifig.
Oh, they're shit then, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what type of Lego I like, Rick. I'm looking at my helmets and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, like the EV that's on that page is a little bit smaller than that, but that's that kind of scale.
Yeah, I've seen the actual proper kits they have on there do look interesting. But the reason as well why I was fighting you on it is because there is a Chinese knockoff market where there's these really tiny Legos, so small, like they're smaller than your thumb. And I got one once. It was a great ball with a Charmander in it, and I went, this is gonna be fun. I opened up the instructions, and the instructions are shit because.
Oh yeah, they are. Because they refer to things that don't exist yet quite a lot of the time. Like they try to get you to put something underneath something that's not already attached yet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because for those of you who are not a Lego enthusiast, which even I'm not an enthusiast, I just like doing it. They literally do it brick by brick, how to create your kit. These knockoff things, they do it layer by layer. However, when you start with your first layer, it doesn't work because there's nothing to put the blocks together with.
Yeah, it's bothersome.
It's very bothersome. Anyway, that little public spat of ours aside, Rick, for my benefit and for the benefit of anyone who wishes to join along with us, what are we doing?
We're doing The Art of Murder pilot by Chalk Chip Studios. It's available on YouTube. 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, nice little vanity card with Chalk and Chip themselves.
I think the background colour could probably be different with the dogs being so dark.
So this is our investigator guy. Explore time. Okay, so that looks a lot like Adventure Time, obviously.
Do Funko Pops come with accessories now? Because that one had a giant cupcake.
They do, because the Shadow the Hedgehog one comes with the Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, but aren't they usually part of the model?
I don't know.
Well, I assume you know in the context of the Shadow one, because you mentioned it.
I think it's like something that you can put in the hand. The hand is like a cupped hand, and you can just put the thing in the hand or not. She's got a very cute voice, though, as you would expect from a child character like that.
Is it a child? Well, I guess 15's a child. I real poo-poo the lighting in this scene because it doesn't look like the light's coming from an artificial source.
Yeah, it just looks like daytime.
Yep. The only reason I knew it wasn't daytime is because of the dialogue.
Yeah, being told that it's bedtime.
So, that man is going to scream once they're allowed to talk, right? Because he's losing an arm.
You'd assume so.
That's going to be the joke.
Buzz, look, an alien!
It does seem to at least be partially inspired by Toy Story. Well, not partially inspired by it. It's a very basic premise for a plot.
Yeah, inanimate to animate, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that's a graphic. These are drawings of the Funko Pops.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's implied that they have like a persistent personality between times that they get drawn.
Hmm. Well, it's very Jessica Rabbit. I can't help it. I was drawn this way.
Yeah, it seems like she's got a chip on her shoulder against 3D princesses.
Okay. Oh, cool. He speaks Japanese.
Yeah, the entire time, yeah. Using firepower to fight for feminism. Oh, he's literally Sasuke.
Mm-hmm. It's not what swords look like.
No. It is when they get drawn that way.
Nobody should have that as a dream.
No. Especially since half the stuff that they do in Japan is just contracted out to China anyway. It's just male Amelia Watson.
Yeah. If she was in Phoenix Wright.
Yeah. My hot figurine, yeah.
I assume the character's name is Pip because they keep saying it, but the subtitles keep having it as Hip.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Pip, yeah. So now they get to see OC.
OC with a missing arm.
Yeah, OC the OC.
And shit hair. I understand this is meant to be like a really emotional moment, I guess, but all I can think of is the scene with that's
It's literally
Miles
Edgeworth,
Edgeworth.
yeah.
I got it so on the nose.
Ledgeworth, yeah.
All I'm thinking of is that scene where fucking Saruman is watching the Urukai get fucking grown like potatoes.
Yeah, and then he puts his hand on one of them and is like, yes, that's your mark of me. What the fluff? Looks a bit like Midoriya. Original the character. Please do not steal.
Just in case you don't know anything about internet culture.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're not in jars.
I
think someone's chasing a fucking sponsorship.
Yeah,
deal.
I think they are. Because that's very definitely not true in the real world. It's basically the baseline of get a recognition.
That was a very nice gag. Toys don't come to life, ha, with Buzz and Woody in the background.
Yeah. And like a serial numbers filed off version of You Got a Friend in Me playing in the background. Good old Sosuke joining in even without light singing.
I mean, he just needs to be there, doesn't he?
Yeah. Just join in the choreography.
Yeah, so she's Barbie.
Yeah.
I want to point out that fucking Rick mentioned when he first saw this, it's like drawn together, and I was like, don't ever compare anything to that show.
Yeah, it's already way better than Drawn Together. Yeah, the only comparison to Drawn Together is that the Disney princess looks like a Disney princess.
Man, it's a good thing it's a sketchbook and not like a Word document on a fanfic site.
Yeah. Where like all you need to do is just like slip, and like everything gets deleted. Okay, so now they're giving us all of their different insecurities.
Yep. Why would it choose arsed as the fucking subtitle for artist?
I didn't catch that.
Sometimes the subtitles like choose words because like swears aren't allowed, so they don't caption it. But like artist or asked, I wonder which fucking word they actually said.
Yeah. At least it's not as deranged as things like Stephen Magnet in My Little Pony.
Man, it's a good thing kids always sleep completely soundly from 10 till morning and don't wake up even slightly in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, the obvious explanation is that she probably took the sketchbook outside and it got a bit dirty.
Yeah, dropped it in the mud.
Well, maybe not dropped it in mud, quite literally, because, you know, then the book would be ruined.
Yeah.
He's been erased. That's not. I'm assuming because like the fucking. The episode is called "The Art of Murder," so someone logically has to be killed.
Yeah, there is someone has been murdered out of all these art projects. Ooh.
Oh, the page has been ripped out. That's incredibly
torn
severe.
out. Yeah, gone.
He keeps saying Oshi in a way that it sounds like he's saying Oshi.
Oh yeah,
which I'm sure is on purpose.
My Oshi, yeah.
Now, I don't know what that word means, but I know it's a word.
It literally means push, but what it is like my my favorite person, my favorite idol that I support more than any others.
Ah. That's Elsa. Yep. I think the obvious answer, and it might not be the actual one, is that like she just the artist in question just wasn't happy with the design, so she tore it out and chucked it.
Or gave it to someone at school.
Fucking Bosuke.
Yeah, Sosuke. Like, yeah, sequel to Sosuke's Bosuke, yeah.
What was the joke we all made during fucking Mortal Kombat 10? It's like fucking... No, the Mortal Kombat roster's gone. Everyone's a Boruto now.
Yeah, so Sub-Zero's died. Oh, well, let's have Bub-Zero now.
Well, yeah, you know, worst example, because Sub-Zero's never going to fucking die.
Okay, yeah. Or at least the title of Sub-Zero's not going away.
So there's always going to be a Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
I remember fucking when Mortal Kombat was killing off a bunch of characters, Ed Boon got mentioned. He said, like, is anyone safe? Like, can anyone be killed off? And Ed Boon went, anyone can be killed off. Pauses for a beat, except for Scorpion. I understand that character is meant to be like an Adventure Time sort of rip-off parody, but like they feel like they'd be right at home in Steven Universe based on their style.
They would, yeah. It's like if Finn was in the Steven Universe universe.
If who?
Finn from Adventure Time.
Okay. You want to get technical, poison fruit didn't work.
Yeah. She's not wrong, though, in general.
Yeah. That's why it's a trope.
Yep. I like that he's all about unlocking all the endings because he's from a visual novel.
Yeah. Here comes God. Or Satan.
Or Mum.
It's actually a
Oh,
dog.
it's a dog, yeah, fair enough.
It's an ugly-ass dog. Dog's called Weeaboo.
Oh,
the dog got the sketchbook.
Muddy Paws, Muddy Sketchbook.
Torn paper shreds. Oh, you fuckers. That's a good thing to do. That's a good trick, but... yeah. Fuck you.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah. Continued in Sketchbook too, yeah. Yeah.
We're getting the actual voice cast now. Oshi and Pip. Oh, that makes sense that they're voiced by the same person when you think about it.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But yeah, for those of you who aren't watching along, you've got a nice little link at the bottom there saying support the show, and instead of being a Patreon link, it appears to be a link to a shop, so I assume there's some fun little merchandise. So which of these 5 fun, lovable characters are becoming marketable plushies? That's the question.
Or 4.5 characters. You go by OC being completely incomplete.
I wouldn't call it 4.5 because, he was only missing an arm, and I love how it's like, hey, you like this? You should watch Dungeon Flippers, and you should. That show's good.
Yeah, it was. I'm looking forward to more of that as well. Looking forward to more of this as well. I liked this show. I was quiet throughout lots of it for, just listening to it, watching it, and absorbing things that were happening. I just generally liked what was going on with it.
Yeah, it was okay, but we'll get into that. Let's get your thoughts first, shall we? What do you think?
I liked the combination of styles. It was very polished. I liked how the different style characters felt differently. They felt like they were drawn by different artists. Which was kind of the point. They're all done in different styles, and that's something that I always kind of do enjoy, especially when each individual style is done really well. The anime.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that point because I don't think they were drawn in different styles, and I think that's the point. Is they're from different media and they're suddenly drawn in the same style to tie them together because they're all drawn by Pip.
Yeah, I guess so. They've got a through line of Pip's personal style to a degree, but yeah, she's still trying to keep them somewhere close to their original style, at least.
Well, let me discuss it this way, or put it this way, I should say. It's like Sosuke doesn't look like an anime guy. We know he's an anime guy, but he doesn't look it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, looking at him, he looks a little bit more like it looks more like Jack Spicer than Sasuke.
Okay. Yeah, and the Disney princess character. Yeah, she looks like a Disney princess a bit because of her dress, but she doesn't look like she's a Disney character.
Yeah, she doesn't look like any particular Disney princess. She looks, well, to be honest, she does look a bit more like Princess Clara than any particular Disney princess,
Who the fuck is Princess Clara?
The one from Drawn Together.
Oh,
it's just like a riff of all Disney princesses.
It's been a fucking hot minute since I watched that show. The only character I remember is Foxy and not Betty Boop.
Yeah, and Waldorf Sockbat that's just SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, but he's not, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we stop talking about Drawn Together? It's a bad show. Don't watch it.
How about you? Do you have any thoughts about this so far?
I think it's a nice concept, and it was animated beautifully. It all came together quite well. I don't know if I care that much is the actual problem, and it's through no fault of the show. It's just it feels like Toy Story but coloured differently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
I think it's good. A lot of hard work clearly went into this. The VAs were great. The art was great. The direction was great. Nothing was bad about this. I just don't think it vibed with, or rather, I don't think I vibed with it, and that's fine.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can't put every single indie animation that we watch to the top top of the list. Like, I liked it. I'm keeping my finger on the pulse. I've subscribed. I'm not requesting that you do.
It's undeniably a good show, and I hope it succeeds. I just probably won't be watching it.
Sure.
It is what it is, and that's absolutely fine. Like, it's really good. The numbers speak for themselves, and I think if you watch even 5 minutes of this, you can see that if you don't think the animation is good, I don't think you watch the same thing.
Okay, fair enough.
What do you mean, okay, fair enough?
Sorry, I might had a bit of a brain fart. But yeah.
Okay. Favourite moment, Rick?
My favourite moment was when they were giving their introductions to Oshi, and Sosuke gives his introduction, and then Win just goes, yeah, we don't worry, we can't understand him either.
Yeah, just mild xenophobia there.
But also, it's understandable because they are essentially the characters that they are in their original universes, just brought to life on the page. So if their original character doesn't know Japanese, then these characters don't know it either. So it's understandable.
Yeah, it's a good thing that English is a universal constant in every universe, isn't it?
Yeah, and
except for anime.
Yeah.
Anime English is language by foreign devils.
Yeah, anime English is just when they try and make it sound funny when someone goes, "Oh my god."
One of the funniest things is playing Yakuza, the video games, in English, because sometimes you'll have a sub-story that the whole sub-story is you're talking to someone who's speaking in English, so the character can't understand them very well, but they don't change it in English.
Yeah, they've been speaking English the whole time.
It's so funny. Obviously, I always play those games in Japanese, so I don't encounter it, but it's look it up on YouTube, it's hilarious.
How about you? Do you have a favourite moment?
I didn't really have a standout favourite moment so much as like a series of moments, in that I didn't go over the top and be like, yeah, that's awesome, that's cool during them, but every time it's like, oh, that's referencing this and that's referencing that, like just having straight up being like cogs falling into place and being like, oh, this is what they're doing, that's funny, that's good.
Okay.
I think that might be one of my issues with it as well, though, isn't it? It's like a lot of it is just, oh yeah, that thing,
Yeah, I get you. Like,
but anyway, we can't only talk about the good, can we? We also have to talk a bit about the bad. Do you have a weakest link?
It was actually one that you picked up right at the beginning, that the opening scene wasn't as evocative of bedtime as it could have been, and we had to basically be told, okay, time for bed, and then realise, oh, what, she's actually wearing are pyjamas.
Yeah, the lighting was very odd in that scene.
Yeah, it felt very bright and like natural light rather than artificial light, because once the big light got turned off, then it looked a little bit more like you were expecting it to, where with the light being turned off and like one little lamp still shining.
But that's just it. The light in the scene looked like it was coming from off screen, aka a window.
Yeah.
Which is a very odd choice.
Yeah, but it is a little nitpick among the sea of everything. How about you? Do you have a weakest link?
I really don't like the musical aspect.
Sure. I kind of wasn't expecting it to be musical, and I don't mind it. I kind of like a decent song, and
I don't mind it, Rick. But we had like 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
In a 20-minute episode.
Fair enough. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If there was one, I'd be like, fine, it's gonna have musical elements. That's what they're going for. But it's like when you have 3 songs in the span of 20 minutes. Now, I will admit, one of those songs was an expansion of a song that was already sang earlier in the episode. So I guess 2.5 if you want to be picky. But that's a lot of song to have in 20 minutes that basically puts it into musical territory, which is fine. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't particularly care for it. Do you remember when we did My Little Pony Make Your Mark, the musical? Every time a song came on, I was like, oh, fucking shit.
And like the only good song was the evil one.
They did have another good song, but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
So might as well have not existed.
Yeah. They were all like super unmemorable apart from the My Little Pyongyang one, which actually turned out to be really, really catchy.
But yeah, I want to point out, by the way, the music wasn't bad. It's just I don't want more than one song in an episode. Not in a 20-minute episode. That's for damn sure. And I'll fully acknowledge that this weakest link is a personal gripe on my part. Again, nothing wrong with the songs. They were quite catchy. One of them served as an excellent introduction to all the characters that we're going to stick with.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep one song, keep that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, that's certainly a me issue. We don't like to leave it on a bad. We like to end on a good. So, Rick, who is your MVP today?
I'm going to give it to Giorgio, because I think he drove the ending of the plot a lot more, because he's obviously the one that's doing the investigation, but also he felt more like a ringleader when he was not investigating the murder, when the murder hadn't happened yet. Even though he's like the last one to be last one to be woken up. because he's always oversleeping. He just feels like he commands the scene more than the others to a degree.
It's very easy for him to take command of the scene, because a lot of times when he took control, he was wrestling it away from another character, but he wasn't. There was no back and forth. He was just like, I'm the main character now.
Yeah, it's like, cease with your beta character prattling. I'm going to advance the plot. Well,
not quite that obnoxious, but yeah.
But yeah, I think he deserves it for this individual episode. We'll see going forward. How about you? Do you have an MVP?
It's a real tough one, because I struggle to give it to any of the characters, because to me none of them stood out, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like it's a very much an ensemble show, not a this character is the lead sort of show. I think you've got to give it to the whoever was head of animation, because this doesn't feel like an indie show.
Oh yeah, very definitely doesn't feel like an indie. Like it feels very professionally produced.
Like very fluid animation, very charming art style. Charming art style, but generic, if you get what I mean. Which again isn't a bad thing. I use the word generic quite often, and people always assume that I'm being a bitch when I'm saying it.
Yeah. I don't know who was. Okay, so apparently Nirali is the director, and both Anoki and Nirali are credited as writer and creators.
Sure, but specifically animation, because I think the direction takes a hit from that lighting decision in the first scene.
Sure.
Other than that...
Yeah, Nirali was the animation supervisor.
Yeah, animation was great. You should feel really proud of yourself, give yourself a pat on the back, and have a can of Coke.
Yeah. Pat on the head, give you a biscuit. Stupid, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up for us today. Thanks for joining us for another foray into YouTube indie animation, courtesy of Rick. He found this and decided to share it with us. And support the show if you didn't watch along with us. It's definitely worth a watch. Let us know in the comment section what you thought, how you disagree with us, how you agree with us, what Easter eggs did we miss because we either didn't point them out or just kept our mouth shut during it. Because I'm sure there was a ton of stuff that was either not in our wheelhouse or we just didn't catch because there's a lot of stuff going on in the foreground, let alone the background.
Yeah, like I'm definitely sure I missed at least more of musical cues, because like we caught the "You Got a Friend in Me" one, but there's probably going to be a way more than that.
Rick using the royal we there because I didn't fucking catch it at
all. Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's a good show. We recommend it. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on the YouTubes and the Spotify. Alternatively, you can send us an email at nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that's Mr. Plow.
That name again is Mr. Plow.
But yes, let us know what you thought, etc., etc. If you give us a witty, informative, or just straight up fun comment, we'll read it out on a future episode. Apart from that, I think we're going to say a very informal goodbye, so it's a goodbye from me.
Ta-ra, everybody.